We all know that golf is not getting any easier, but if you're looking for new irons in 2025 and you're trying to make the game easier, lower your scores, hit more greens and beat your playing partners, then you need to think about what iron setup you have, and the irons we're talking about today, I think, could be perfect for you and could be perfect for this mid-handicap golfer who is on the screen as we speak now. Hi guys, today we are talking about the Wilson Dynapower and Dynapower Max Irons. Who are these for? These are game improvement irons that could potentially help you shoot the lowest scores you ever had, or just get you playing a little bit better golf and enjoying your game like we all want to in 2025. And guys, if you are new to this YouTube channel, then welcome, and if you want to join us on that journey to 50,000, make sure to hit that subscribe button for a lot of mid-handicap testing, some testing from myself, and plenty other content to come this year. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, then welcome back to the channel. We have mid-handicap Dave waiting in the wings with these irons, as I'm sure you've just heard him practice swinging, but let's see how he does with these irons. So Dave, I'm going to let you hit one first before we start to talk about them. 140 yards here. Dave has a 7-iron. As the rain just starts.
That wasn't great.
So not your best strike, Dave.
But
just creeping towards the front edge.
It's only just short, but I mean, no matter how forgiving they are, they're not going to get away with if you're hardly at the bottom groove, are they?
No. So again, Dave, straight away looking at these clubs, what do you think?
Reasonably thick top line.
Yeah.
They'll look as though there's a lot of offset, which used to worry me, but now doesn't worry me so much, because I think we've learned that it doesn't make that much difference for me. Yeah,
and again, these irons are forgiving irons. They are designed to get the ball launching high, but like we say there, if you find the bottom groove, unfortunately it's not going to get the ball launched in the air. But that's not done bad, Dave.
No, it's probably 10 yards short of the pin, I'd say.
Yeah, we've still got a chance. And if that was, let's say, the fantastic CB and MB irons from Wilson that I was using last year, that might have got halfway, Dave.
Halfway, and the ends of my fingers would still be ringing.
Yes, so let's go one more, and then we are going to bring in the Max version of these irons. So very interesting with Wilson this year. They have a Max range, and me and Dave have both thought if it goes to Max, it must mean stronger lofts, but you will be surprised.
Again, bottomy.
Bottomy, but it's launched.
But it's on. Do you know what? That's done so well, it's unreal.
And this is game improvement irons, Dave, isn't it? They are extremely forgiving. Two not fantastic strikes, but in regards to probably tour averages, you would probably be inside from this distance, which is very surprising.
I am actually quite stunned at that, because that didn't feel much different to the first strike. It was still off the bottom, still made my fingers ring a little bit, but whether it got the bounce on, I don't know, but it's still pin high. And
it launched probably twice the high, if not 3 times, even with a low strike. Yeah. So certainly getting...
And you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, it shouldn't be anything worse than a 2-putt, and you've got a chance of a birdie still.
Yeah, right. Let's jump into the Max irons now, which are in this bag. We've got all the drivers. We also have a new driver right there. Let's get those irons. Now again, producing fantastic looking irons here, but one standout thing right here is how big that sole is. So again, that is going to be for interaction into the ground. If you're somebody who struggles with maybe being steep, this could potentially help you. But also one big thing you'll see in there, a little bit more offset for Dave.
So that shouldn't really help me, because my swing's more shallow than steep, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And this is where you have to know, when you're in a fitting, they should be letting you know what kind of angle of attack you have, because if you have a shallow angle of attack and you have a wide sole, we could potentially bounce the club quite a lot more and hit a lot more bottom groovers, as we've found with Dave with the first clubs. But look at the height.
That felt wonderful.
Of that shot. And look at that. Straight away, Dave, in the more forgiving clubs that are actually stronger lofted, which did knock both our socks off.
No, they're not stronger lofted, they're weaker lofted, aren't they?
Oh, they're weaker lofted. Yeah, sorry, Dave, I've got it the wrong way around. So weaker lofted in the Max clubs, but ridiculously good launch there. Straight away, Dave, feel
That felt really nice and soft, but then again, I didn't hit it off the bottom, so.
No?
But
Well, that always helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it really felt nice.
It didn't sound clicky either, did it?
No, no. No, it felt soft. I brought me tea.
Oh, you're joking. Can we battle through it, Dave? Can the video continue?
It can. I found. It's all right.
You've stole one.
I found a discarded.
Is that what you're saying?
Found a discarded one. It felt really soft and didn't sound clicky. Not dull's the wrong word.
No.
But not clicky.
Yeah, which is what we often find when people go to game improvement irons. They start to sound a little bit clicky. You don't know how they're going to come off, but straight away they're inside the other. Dave's loving his proximity.
I'm just
I think he's more bothered that it's closer than mine, aren't you, Dave?
I thought that'd be obvious.
Well, that's true. Right, let's go one more before we jump inside and see the difference between these clubs. If we put clubs, a 7-iron next to a 7-iron with slightly different loft.
That was an awful strike.
Awful strike.
Yeah, it's in the bunker, but considering it was that bad, it's done really, really well. It was a lot higher than the bad strike, which was from the one that wasn't the Max.
Yeah, the standard Dynapower. But interesting there, like you say, the bad strike still carried as far as the total with the standard clubs, and this has got more loft, so very interesting there.
Less loft.
With less loft, I keep getting it wrong, Dave, thank you very much. But let's jump in the studio. And if we talk about proximity there, obviously, why would you not have game improvement irons? There for Dave, well inside tour average, I would say I'm right on the edge. And this one still has a pretty good up and down rate.
This
Dave,
Max though, Chris, even though I cut across it so there was a bit of a slice on it.
Yes, it's an outside chance at getting up and down, but those two are fantastic. And who says game improvement irons don't have the stopping power? Again,
and that's the Max that's done that.
That is the Max that has dropped and stopped because of the height. Okay, so inside, Dave, we've said outside your 99 should go around about 120. So we've got that set up now. We've got the standard Dynapower iron. Let's see how this performs with it. 2 shots with each. Let's see which one does better. Max was leading outside, but a fantastic launch straight away there. Straight over the flag. That would look like it's going in, but 225 carry going 230. We did. We're going to put that in slow motion on the screen, Dave. That's going to be Dave's new intro every single time. So if we look at that, it's gone maybe 10-15 yards further than your standard irons?
Yeah, well the carry is 5 yards further than my standard irons go and stopped within 4.5 yards really.
And this is where these irons could be good for you. It could gain Dave a little bit more distance, but it's still having good stopping power, which we also saw on the green from the Max. So let's go one more and then let's switch over, Dave.
Oh, a bit off balance, so a little bit left.
Inside here, Dave. That looks a long one again. So getting over into the 230s, 232 there. Stopping again quick, which is pretty good from a bit of a pull.
Yeah, and I think part of the issue might be that it's still cold outside, so the ball's not travelling quite as far. Yeah,
but also what we're going to start to see, if Dave gets these numbers in the summer, it's going to be very hard to fit the bottom end of his bag if it's standard wedges. But let's switch over, Dave. Let's grab the Max now, because this is actually, like we discussed outside, even though I've got it wrong twice, this is weaker lofted. So there's less loft.
Well remembered, Chris.
On this one. So will this be a little bit shorter? Again, a Max driver with a Max iron would normally expect to go a bit further, but let's see what this one does. So the reason why Dave is laughing there is because you'll see on screen there is a shot at 148 yards, and I said to Dave, what golf club have you picked up there? He's just hit 2 shots with a 5-iron thinking it was a 9-iron. He did get a bit giddy that his 9-iron was going 148 yards.
I thought it was a bit low, of course.
But now we have a 9-iron, so now we're going to see what the Max does before we go in to those 5-irons.
Oh. This is why I need a caddy.
I don't think Scottish Paul's going to help you here. He'd have thoroughly enjoyed that.
Oh.
I mean, it's a similar shot. It
is a similar. But
your best, but again, it's just off the green. So forgiveness-wise, there, bottom groove, still got over all the trouble. But let's hit another one now, Dave. Let's get back into the groove. Your 9-iron's not going 148 yards. He was thinking about getting the phone out and texting Scottish Paul.
Everybody, in fact.
That's a great shot.
More like what we expect.
Good strike. We know these should be a weaker loft, so has it brought it back? And it has. So 120 going 125. So still 5 yards further than what Dave would play with his Tacomos. But let's go one more, Dave, because that still had a good flight, sounded good. And for me, has that club leading the way. Which is, if Dave picked these up, he would have probably been favouring towards the standard. But right there, it's a no-brainer for which one is leading, Dave. Let's go up now to a 5-iron, something you wouldn't have in your bag. Let's see how that performs. Right, so Dave's just told me 160 would be a standard 5-iron. He doesn't have a 5-iron in the bag, obviously. 6-iron is sometimes the longest iron, if not the 7-iron. So let's see, if he was to purchase these clubs, would he be putting those in the bag? Is that the standard, Dave, we've started with?
You can tell, can't you?
Yeah, straight away, a little bit lower. It's got 155, so it's done well, but it's not got the launch. Didn't get the strike. Would he be better here thinking about a hybrid still, even with these forgiving irons? This is what you have to ask yourself. If you're going for game improvement irons, you might not need a full set. You might need to consider maybe going into hybrids. Let's have one more. And that's a good strike, coming out pretty hot. Again, 156 going 170, so... When I hit it well, with these, it does do what you'd hope it to do in the first instance. Yeah, but we can see there that has ran on nearly 20 yards, or just under 20 yards, 16 yards run. That's going to be very hard to keep on a green. So yes, although that was a good strike, you'd be happy. Into a green might not be consistent. Let's drop into the weaker Max club now, and let's see what that does. Do we get that little bit more launch? Could you potentially go a kind of combo set with these, or would it still be hybrids like Dave has in his golf bag? Well, we've certainly got more launch there from Dave. Is it going to get there? It has. That's a fantastic shot. 141 going 155. Well inside tour average at that distance. Let's see if we can repeat that. Again, good height on that. Stopped reasonably well there. Still running out 13 yards though. Now that is a launch, Dave. That is a launch you'd probably want to see out there. 150 carry. And that you wouldn't be too bad at, because 7 yards for it to stop, close to the pin, a little bit weaker than the others, you would take that shot all day, Dave, because that's stopping pretty quick. Yeah, that's quite impressive for me, if I'm honest. And it is. And at the start of this video, we didn't know whether it would be a max or standard that David favour. If anything, I reckon, I believe both of us would have said the standard. Standard, however. In here, the max are performing. They perform well on the par 3. Let's get one more shorter shot out on that course, Dave. So guys, now into the green again. We have a 9-iron now. One big thing that is a concern, and obviously you'll see from numbers inside, that the clubs are going a little bit further than Dave's Tacomos, but will they go too far? That's not normally an issue for most people, but you just have to get used to that. You then have to consider what clubs you have after this regarding pitching wedge and wedges to make sure you've not got some huge gaps. Standard one there again, Dave. I mean, technically it's a green in regulation, so your stats would be coming down, but you do have around 70 feet. Let's go one more, because we're going to hit 2 with each. I'm going to grab another golf ball. I've got one here. little bit of balance there for Dave. We can't blame the golf club, although most people would like to do that.
Nah, you can't blame the golf club for most shots, Chris.
But is Dave favouring towards the Max, which is definitely not what he'd expected. Fantastic launch there, Dave, a much better strike. Distance wise, just on the fringe, but that looks pin high to me, Dave.
Yeah, it's not far off, is it?
No, let's switch in now. I'll give you another ball and another club, and we'll switch those out. So, very interesting. Again, they've done a great job with the looks, but again, behind that golf ball, we can see that it does have a thicker top edge, but it doesn't necessarily have too much offset on this club, which is the standard Dynapower. But how will the Max perform here? Didn't sound your best strike, Dave.
No, do you know what? That was almost exactly the same strike as the first one.
Right, but look how forgiving that has been, Dave.
That felt really off the bottom.
Fantastic shot. One more, Dave. We've got a clear standout winner so far in my eyes.
Very much so.
And again, why should we make the game harder if we can get clubs just like these Dynapower Irons, game improvement irons? They can certainly, potentially help your golf. Extremely high launch, Dave, just pulled slightly. And just, I think, in the bunker there, but should be.
I think it's in the second bunker. It's certainly not
It is,
in the front
so
one.
just short of pin high there. So again, an extremely high launch there, Dave.
Which, considering the difference in loft, is surprising because, as we've said before, there's less loft on these than there is on the standard.
Yeah, so very interesting, guys. Make sure you do check that out when you are testing clubs and think about what you are trying to achieve, but make sure to go and look at these Wilsons.